Hey, what up, everybody? Back again with the CBD Business Accelerator. And we got some special guests today, some good friends of mine, Wes and Kia from The Real Truth About Credit. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, it's always good to hang out with you guys. We need to catch up in person. It's been too long.
All right. Sure.
But yeah, so we're here today to talk about business credit, which is something that I need to learn more about myself. So I'm excited about it. We've already had one conversation, so I know a little bit about what you guys do, but I'm excited to share with our audience the things you can do to help them with their business credit and get financing and things of that nature. So the first question, like, how is the current economy affecting the importance of credit?
That's a great question. It's so much going on with the pandemic, and a lot of businesses are going cashless now, where they're not even accepting or allowing customers to pay in cash.
Yeah.
And if businesses who are facing businesses are doing that to other businesses as well, you can see how that can put you in a spot. Like if you don't have any leverage to go off of, or any assets that you can cash in on, something that you can kind of withdraw some liquid, cash flow from if you are unable to use cash. And then surprisingly, I mean, of course, we see a lot of businesses going under. They're like closing their doors and kind of going out of business because they couldn't survive, the shutdowns and things. And
man, and not to interrupt you, but I've always heard this rule: you need to have 18 months of cash flow in a business. And I'm like, man, I've never had 18 months of cash flow in any of my businesses. But this is the reason why, though. Like when something unforeseen, like a pandemic happens, if you had 18 months of cash flow, then you would be able to, ride this out.
Right. Yeah. Most businesses actually only have about 2 months of cash on hand.
That's about what I'm working on it, though. That's why I'm talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
Every month. And I think most businesses, it's a constant hustle every month. You're trying to balance the bills and do everything. And, and so
why you need leverage.
Yeah. And I think it's wise to run your business with leverage using business credit. And so what is the perfect credit model and how does it affect business credit?
So the perfect credit model, Wes, and you can expand.
Yeah, I can take that one. So the perfect credit model basically was everything we looked at to determine the people who always got the highest approval rates, the people who had the 800 credit scores, the people who pretty much got all the financing they need when they were looking for business credit. So we were analyzing personal credit, business credit, and looking at the top behaviors across all of that market. And that's pretty much how we discovered the perfect credit model. And it basically is focused on the two main factors of your personal credit score, which is if you look at your FICO, there's two areas that matter more than the others, right? Payment history is 35% of your FICO score. And the other 30% is, I believe, total accounts. Back me up on that, Kia. That's right. Total accounts.
Yeah. So your credit usage availability.
Credit usage. There we go.
Yeah. And that's what you guys taught me last time that I never knew. I always thought it was you were supposed to keep like 30%, or less on your card. So I would keep it around 30%, usually depending on the card. But you guys told me it should be 5%. So if you have a $10,000 limit, you should only be putting 5% on that card if you want to keep your credit really high.
That's true.
Exactly. We look at 30% kind of like that fall off mark. It's like what they're really saying by keep your credit under 30% is once you cross 30%, you've fallen off the cliff. So we like to optimize the credit score to the maximum, and the maximum percentage for your credit score is keeping your utilization at about 5%.
Wow, man, that's something that I think most people don't know at all. So that's a huge tip right there. And what is credit stacking, and will that work for the people that are watching?
Yes, credit stacking is a technique that I kind of discovered through trying different things, working on our credit and our clients, and it's the fastest way to like really just boost your credit score, right? So traditional credit repair is actually thinning out your profile, removing items. What credit stacking is adding items. So if you actually add, taking your profile from thin to like a well-rounded profile actually puts more points on. And so we found the perfect way to be able to do that unsecured without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on secured cards and without even having to do low limit credit. So
yeah. Without having to get inquiries, without having to keep going to apply for credit cards and keep getting those inquiries too. And so, yeah.
Gotcha. And then that'll boost your personal credit score.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
150 to literally 200 points in as little as 4 weeks.
Dang, that's crazy. It took me a while.
Like what happened with mine? I sent you the screenshot. Actually, I should send it to you again while we're on live.
Yeah, it took me like over a year. Mine is like 775 now. But it took me. It was like 550 about a year and a half ago. So it took a while to get that back up.
And you actually did great because it takes most people much longer than that. Like if you just go, card by card or a secured route, it could take years to build a credit score that high. So you did.
Yeah, I was contesting a bunch of things, and and so is a personal guarantee good or bad when you are doing this?
So a personal guarantee is actually neither good or bad, honestly. It's all about the way that it's used. A personal guarantee, what it does is it pretty much opens up more doors for you. It's like signing a permission slip for your child being your business, right?
Yeah.
You as the parent, you're saying, hey, I'm responsible if anything happens to my child. Now, that does not mean that the business or the account that you're applying for is actually going to hold you personally liable. And I think that's a misconception a lot of people have. They think that if you do a personal guarantee that it's going to go on your personal credit. That's not true. That's not necessarily true. And it's not necessarily true that it's going to even attach to your personal credit as far as like liability. So
they just want to see that you have strong credit history or something like that, right?
Yeah, they want to see, and some accounts may put it on your
lenders do. Yeah, some lenders do, and it's really about knowing which lenders aren't going to attach it to your personal credit.
Gotcha.
There's a segment of the market, but not all personal guarantees are created equal.
And you guys know those lenders that don't attach it. I love it.
Some of it is as simple as an inquiry. Like they'll put an inquiry on your personal credit, and some doesn't. They won't even do that. Like they won't put an inquiry on your personal credit. They just want to know that you're financially
right. Is this guy crazy or is he financially stable? Right.
So, like in my instance, like, all right, I got my personal credit figured out now, and now I want to work on my business credit. Like, so how do I establish credit for my business that isn't personal credit?
So basically, the difference is when you apply for personal credit, right? You're gonna go in and be met, right? When you apply for business credit, your business is its own person. So your business, you're not going to use your social security number or for the actual account for the establishing of the business trade line, right? So those things are going to report under your business entity. So you have to establish a legal entity, and then your business also needs to have the correct numbers, like such as an EIN number, because that is your business's social security number. So it separates those two profiles so that instead of you walking in applying under Matt, you're going to walk in and apply under company.
And it helps too if I have like history with a bank account and I have a couple years or a few years, that would make it easier to get, or is it easy for a brand new business to establish business credit?
Yeah, it's possible for both. History definitely helps, right? It helps in terms of options and maybe limits, but it does not disqualify brand new businesses. So brand new businesses can absolutely establish business credit. What it's really about is just establishing that perfect foundation, and with speed and implementation of the way we set this thing up. I mean, if you follow the system within 6 weeks, you could be having your first business
exactly
usable line of credit.
That's awesome. And can I get business credit without running my personal credit score, or do they have to check your personal too?
So you can. It is definitely possible to get business credit without checking your personal credit. Here's the thing with that though. You're 150 times more likely with a personal guarantee.
Okay. Even though, to clarify, that doesn't mean it doesn't have to affect your personal credit. If that, like, let's say you get the line of credit on your business, the business fails, whatever, you can't pay that back and you bankrupt the business.
Yeah.
If you work with the right lender, then it won't affect your personal credit.
Exactly.
Right. And that's also the way that you establish it also, because I mean, you can negotiate with, just like with any contract, right? You can set your own terms and conditions with a lot of these lenders, and a lot of people don't realize that. And then also like extra precaution measures that you can do, like put insurance policy on it so that you protect your personal credit. It's all types of things that you can do. You just have to have that knowledge and kind of get the guidance out here to establish it correctly, and then you won't find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in, you know.
Yeah, and I think speed is something to comment on there too, because whereas most people are trying to sneak around and get business credit without checking their personal credit, whether they're afraid of the leverage, the misconception about personal guarantees, or whether they actually have bad credit, right? It even takes them 6 to 8 months a lot of the times to really pull that off, whereas we're able to get our clients results in about 6 to 8 weeks with our system, because we're attacking both ends of the problem, with credit stacking on your personal credit side. And for the people who already have good credit, then that's just even better. That's just even faster, because we also have the business credit side too.
Gotcha. And can somebody get business credit with a low credit score, or if they've been turned down before?
Yes, you can. A large percent of people run into those kind of problems because they're applying for credit in the wrong order. So that's like, you're a brand new credit card holder and you go apply for a black card. Of course you're not going to
Yeah.
That's not something that you would know in the business world unless you're kind of like, with a mentor, or you have the background yourself, where you're going to put in hours of research and kind of figure out who you can and can't go to. But applying in the correct order, and then honestly, like setting up your business foundation, the perfect business foundation in the first place, because a lot of people aren't checking off the boxes that will get you like automatically declined. So if you are using some of these things and your business is kind of like all over the place and disorganized in your, personal housekeeping.
Yeah, like give them an example, like putting your cell phone number on a credit application, like little things like that. Like your business foundation, like there's things that the lenders on their sites, when they're analyzing these applications, there's secret underwriting processes that are looking to just say no to as many people as possible to avoid as many risks.
Gotcha.
And one of the things they're looking for is a well-organized business, because statistically, somebody with a well-organized business, meaning they have a 1-800 number, they have all their IN numbers in order, their bank accounts in order, their NACE's code in order, they're more likely to automatically approve you for you to get to the next step, even if you have a low credit score, than if you don't have those things organized and you're putting like, Dante@gmail.com and they're automatically going to disapprove you.
So you mean I can't use my old Hotmail?
You don't use your Hotmail.
But if they do it with a lower credit, they'll probably have a higher interest rate, but that's to be expected, right? I mean, like, that's just how it goes. If you have a higher credit score, you're going to get a lower interest rate. That's just how it works. So also, what are there's different levels of business credit. Like you have vendor, retail, fleet, and cash. And can you guys explain those and how that works?
Yeah.
Wes, you want to start out, or you want me to get started on that?
Yeah, I'll get started on it. So there's different levels of vendor credit. So most people, especially people who are new to starting a business, what they try to do is go straight from, I've got a new LLC. I'm going straight to level 4. Give me cash credit. I want cash that I can, spend on my business, and invest. And a lot of people can get credit that way, but they run into limits. What happens is some people have good credit scores like yourself, and they go in there and they go to their bank. The bank approves them. They give them a personal guarantee. And are you still there, Matt? Looks like you might have just dropped out. Is Matt still here?
I see you and I on the screen also.
I'm gonna keep answering the question until Matt.
Lost you guys.
Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I'll wait for you.
Okay, sorry to jump out there. I don't know what happened there.
Okay, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
We were talking about where were we?
Vendor.
Oh yeah, the vendor credit you were talking
Oh,
about.
right. Yeah. Most people try to jump from, 0 to 4 and go straight to cash credit. And some people get approved, but then they run into small limits and they just run into, blocks with just getting enough business credit to support the business. So we always recommend establishing initial business credit by using, the vendor credit, retail credit, fleet credit. We do a lot of the vendor credit. And what we find is when you can establish those first 2 to 3 areas, which is reasonably quickly, you could do this in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, right? This is like a very fast process. And when you do that, you're far more likely to get approved when you can go in. Not only do you have a strong credit score, but you actually have an established business credit score also, because you need at least 10 accounts on your business credit for them to even give you a score. They won't even give you a score if you don't have at least 10 of these accounts. So, in most cases, so we focus a lot on that with helping people get to the 4th level, which is cash credit. Ultimately, that's what we really care about, is cash credit.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
And everything we're doing is about increasing the odds of getting cash credit at the end of the day. Because we don't just want vendor credit, and you don't just want a good personal credit score, but you want them both together so that you can get approved for these high limit business credit accounts or business loans that are going to be attached to your business EIN number at the end of the day.
Yeah, because I know some really financially savvy entrepreneurs, they run their business that way with that leverage, right? And it's just
I know them too.
Yeah. Especially like I think a lot of agencies maybe do it that way, just because there's all these expenses every month. And so how much credit could a person get? Like, let's say if they had a business that brought in $1 million the last 2 years, and they've been open for 2 years, they brought in $1 million both of those years, and their credit is 800.
Wow. I mean, Kia can back me up there, but that's a pretty reasonable sized business right there. Based off of those numbers, I mean, that's just revenue. So that, that's not.
Yeah, they probably netted 300 of that, let's say.
Right. But so it's pretty easy to say in the range of anywhere from 100 to 300,000, depending on the actual breakdown of profit, is pretty reasonable for somebody who not only has that revenue figured out, but like you said, the personal credit situation is good, but also that business foundation. Because even if they're doing $1 million in revenue, and if the NACE's code is wrong and they determine that business is high risk, then that's going to limit your potential for credit also.
So is CBD business considered high risk? Like if you have because most of my
audience, they're not looking at CBD specifically. They're looking at the code that you assign to the business.
So they won't try to go and look on your website and look at your company and dig in like that?
I mean, it depends on how you set up your company. Me personally, like I probably wouldn't go in and say cbdonline.com. Maybe I would do like a parent company, like a, Matt Seibert LLC. But really that depends,
like a management company. Yeah,
like a management company, but that doesn't necessarily depend that or mean that because you're in the CBD business that they're going to disapprove you. You really just kind of have to know what the market is for your business type.
Yeah, because there's different layers to it. Like a farmer, I think, would be more likely to get the loan business credit because they're like, if they're just a farmer, they're under the farm bill. It's federally approved. I mean, so I think there's probably a lot of levels to that, and hopefully we can explore that with some of my people and you guys. And so, why do people get turned down for business credit?
The biggest reason why people get turned down for business credit is typically their personal credit, honestly. And those are the guys that are trying to go through that backgated process without having to, adjust personal credit at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, it's possible to do. It's not impossible, but it's a longer process. And I mean, it doesn't really make sense to have a perfect business credit score and terribly bad personal credit. You might as well have them both to go hand in hand, because your business is going to basically make your personal life better and vice versa. Your personal life is going to back up your business and be able to allow for some different options there. So it's like if you have
it's a synergy like that.
Well, what's a good personal credit score? Like where is that threshold that's considered like, okay, I'm good now?
750 and above. The closer to 780 the higher you are likely to just get a green light wherever you go. They're going to roll out the red carpet for you. If you're
you walk in with that 800 credit score, you're pretty good. Like if you got that with that history too, you got to have as well. Like I noticed like payment history, like you said, is really important. And so like even the years that you've had credit, some of that factors in as well. I noticed like when I look at my credit apps. And this will work for any business, right?
Yeah, it will work for any business as long as you have it established correctly. You're not, putting things on your applications or on your business that are going to cause a bunch of red flags and a bunch of red tape, because that's honestly what a lot of people do. They set things up in a way that they're basically causing themselves headaches, but it's out of just like you didn't know any better. You're just out here. You're good at whatever you're good at, right? If you're good at sales, you're good at sales. That doesn't mean that you're going to go out here and start a multi-level corporation all perfectly structured. You kind of need some.
Yeah,
everybody has their area of expertise. That's like me. I'm a sales expert pretty much for the most part. That's my thing. And I don't finances. I'm learning that part of it. But that's why I work with people like you that like that's your every day. You're in the trenches with this. And I don't have time. Like I'm working so hard on other projects that it's great to have people like you that know these tricks and know how to set up the business properly and know all the tips to do it fast, because nobody wants to wait like 2 years to get their credit fixed.
Right. That's what you don't want to do.
Yeah. And somebody, Jason commented, you guys are awesome. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jason?
Jason, thanks.
And so, yeah. And if I'm going to put a link below these videos for if people want to reach out to you, you work with clients to help them walk through this whole process, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And I've been seeing you guys getting great reviews, and I trust Wes and Kia 110%. People, they're like my family, so they will take care of you 100%. I guarantee that. I give you my word. They're just the best people, and I've worked with them for 4 or 5 years now in different things, different ventures. Wes and Kia are both serial entrepreneurs like myself, so we're always doing something. And so it's been great. And I think you've really given a lot of good info today and a lot of inspiration that it can be done. And so many of the companies I talk to about maybe 15 to 20 CBD brands a week. And, I'm talking about our services, and a lot of them can't afford the services. So being able to get the business credit, then to be able to afford consultants and ad spend and things like that can get your business ahead, and especially if you have that good credit and you have a lower interest rate, then it's just a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah.
And so, people, I'll put the link below these videos. And if you're interested in speaking with Wes and Kia, learning more, you can check out their website and schedule a time to speak with them about their services. And do you guys have anything else that you want to leave the audience with?
Man, just leverage. That's the name of the game, where we're headed, the way things are going. You can see that everything's more computer automated. Technology is getting smarter and smarter. AI is all up in our business. So.
And the world is so unpredictable that to have that leverage is so important right now. I mean, look at what happened. There's, like you said, so many businesses had to close because they didn't have that leverage. They weren't able to go get capital. And so we're here to help you guys, people. I'll put the links, and then I'm sure we'll be doing another one of these in a few months just to update people on maybe some of the new things that you guys are working on in the credit world. And then we can just get the word out there. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time, and we'll be seeing you again soon.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Wes and Kia. Thank you.
Okay.